Okay. All right. I think we're live. So the million dollar question will be when we go back and look, were we live?
Yes. Uh-huh.
I'll start by apologizing to anybody who wanted to watch on Friday. Brooke and I could not figure out how to make Facebook Live work. So I actually, it's kind of a good thing because I am using this software now that I had heard of from friends called StreamYard, and it's actually seems to be much better. So I'm glad it forced me to learn this. So thanks for being patient. Um, so Brooke and I, Brooke was the first guest on our podcast in episode 1, and she has a nonprofit called Natural Freedom Farm, in which she and her husband help people learn how to bring more organic nutrition into their lives, and to learn why that's important and how to make it work, on a budget and in a super busy life. So if you haven't listened to episode 1, if you're kind of an audio person, you can find it on our website under podcasts, and you'll see it there under episode 1. And if you're more of a video person, you can find the snippets. Also, actually, if you go to fouranimalsforearth.com/podcast/1, you can actually find it however you want there. So you can read it as a blog, or you can listen to it, or you can watch video snippets from it. So today, so to take one step back, I am wanting to add more live conversations to what I'm doing with For Animals for Earth, because I think that there's a lot more that we can help each other with if we're talking live. So my plan is for each podcast episode to also do a Facebook Live. So this is our first one. And today, basically, Brooke and I are going to continue the
We're the guinea
conversation.
pigs.
Yeah, exactly. Hence this being our second try. Actually, that doesn't sound that bad when I say second try. It
Yeah.
doesn't sound that bad. But we're going to try to continue the conversation today about children and getting children to eat healthy, because we touched on it in the episode, but we didn't dig into it a ton. And I think that's something I personally struggle with. I mean, those of you who do follow me on social media, you will have seen Bauer's reaction every single night when he comes in to dinner is I can feel the anxiety in his bones when he walks into the kitchen at night to see what I've cooked. Like, you can just feel it. Like, he walks in tense, and then he looks at the table and he goes, "What?" Every single time. And so I personally, it's something I struggle with, like getting my kids to eat healthy, and I know that lots of people do. So why don't we start, Brooke, with just a little bit of grounding on why you feel so passionate about kids eating healthy?
Okay. Well, first of all, I probably have one of the pickiest children ever created. So I understand. I can completely relate to mothers that have picky children and have a difficult time getting their kids to eat healthy, because I am one of them. And it has been years of just trying different things and struggling and being angry and all the feelings. And so I can completely relate. But I'm just really passionate as we started to eat healthy and change our own lives. I just started seeing all the health benefits, and I started to see the damage that we had done by not eating healthy prior. And so it just became a passion of mine to want to help other people, because I can see that other people need this information as well, just as I did. And so I became a health coach because I wanted the knowledge, and I wanted to be able to go out and coach people and help people to live healthy. And my passion is really for children, because they are our future. And right now, the CDC states that 1 in 3 children are either overweight or obese.
Oh,
And so
wow.
this is leading to them already at a young age having heart
Wow.
disease and joint
Mm.
issues and sleeping problems and diabetes and all these things that we once only saw in adults. Well, now we're seeing them in our children. And I just think to myself, if our children are experiencing these diseases and illnesses already, what is that going to look like when they're an adult? What's
Mm-hmm.
our healthcare system going to look like when they are adults? It's already a mess. And so
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
really feel like we need to do our part in teaching and helping people and try to break those statistics, try to break that cycle. And so that's really where our passion came from, is that we want, I've heard things like, now this has never been before, but now they're saying that our children won't outlive us. And I just don't
Oh,
think that
wow.
that just shouldn't be a statistic in modern America, right?
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
our we should be teaching our children how to outlive us, how to be healthier than us, because we are a very unhealthy society
Wow.
right now.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we shouldn't be continuing that trend. We should be telling them, okay, let's stop this so that you're not suffering like I'm suffering.
Yeah.
So um just that's just really our goal, is to get the word out to children that we need to eat healthy and take control of our health now at a young age, because they get excited about it. It's harder to
Mm.
train an adult how to eat healthy when they've had a whole life of bad habits, but it's easier to start when they're young
Mm.
and get them into those healthier habits. So,
That makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
yeah. And I mean, what kind of things are you doing to help introduce that to kids?
Well, like for our kids, we go out in the garden, we go to farmers markets, we talk to local farmers. We're just always talking about like why you should be eating this, and then if they want to choose something healthy, I explain why that's not the best choice and maybe a
Mm.
different alternative. And sometimes it's not worth the battle, and sometimes I will say, okay, if this is what you choose, you can have this as a special treat, but this is not going to be an everyday thing. And birthday parties are always really hard. And so my oldest son, that's almost not easier to kind of talk to about all of this. And so I say, okay, there's going to be all these things at this birthday party. Just remember that your body's not used to these things. These things aren't healthy for you. And so I will let you make that choice, but just be aware that that's not, you don't have to follow along with what everyone else is doing. And so we just do things like that in our family, just try to teach and lead by example.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And then with our nonprofits just getting started, we got our 501(c)(3) in January, and then the COVID came in March. And so, but what we are doing is planning we want to do a kids fall fest
Okay.
where we can just bring them in and let them pick vegetables and talk about vegetables. And we're going to make juices and smoothies and things like that and just introduce them. And I would love to. I'm trying to get like a famous athlete or something.
Oh,
I'd like to
yeah.
get some sort of guest speaker that will relate to the kids,
Mm.
um and try to talk about eating healthy and how, because one of the things that really bothers me is how when athletes advertise for Mountain Dew and Doritos and things like that,
Right.
and that's not what makes them the good athlete that they are. It's not those foods. And so, but kids don't understand that. They think, oh,
Uh-huh.
well, if this guy who I love and admire and follow, if he drinks a Mountain Dew, then I want to drink a Mountain
Yeah.
Dew too. And so I would love for
Yeah. Wow.
there to be a shift where
Mm-hmm.
athletes are actually promoting healthy things and teaching kids how to actually be healthy, because it's not the Gatorade or the Powerade that's going to get them through the game. It's water that's going to get them through the game. But we don't advertise for water, and we don't
Mm.
teach kids, no, you don't need Gatorade, you need water. Um,
Yeah.
so our goal as a nonprofit is to just put the word out there and try to get that shift in mindset. And we are hoping to see a generational change in children growing up to be healthier.
That, yeah. You know, the whole the idea of just simply introducing the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's almost kind of comforting because it feels like, okay, that's not that hard,
Yeah.
especially when you talk about it with the farmer's market. I mean, how many times am I thinking that we've gone to the farmer's market, um, and we're not there shopping. Like I'm going with my family when we're visiting them and they're picking up,
Mm-hmm.
stuff or whatever. And so we don't even go over by the fruits and vegetables. And what a
Yeah.
like missed chance to just walk through
Yeah.
there with the kids
Mm-hmm.
and say, and talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. And it can be something real simple, like the carrots, and kids love carrots because they're sweet. But just say, carrots have vitamin A, and this is really good to help you see. And you can even, like, my son like is really into superheroes, so we can say like, you can see the bad guys if you eat carrots and have like special vision. You can get real creative with how you relate it, and it can be something really simple. You don't have to know a whole lot about nutrition. You can just maybe Google like health benefits of kale. And then when you go to a farmer's market, look for kale, and then you'll know a little bit about it. And then you can tell your kids, this is really good for detoxing. This is really good vitamins and minerals. And my son, he like at dinner, my picky eater at dinner, I'll like, if I put a piece of broccoli in front of him, he'll say, no, I don't want that. And like
Mm-hmm.
refuses to eat it. But
Mm-hmm.
if we go outside in our garden and he's hands on, he'll pick up lettuce and just eat lettuce out of the garden. And I'm like, your broccoli tastes better than this.
How funny.
So it's that experience of getting them out and them feeling like they're doing something, like they're getting hands on, they're choosing. Like at the grocery store, sometimes I'll say, you pick which vegetable from the counter you want to try tonight for
Okay.
dinner. And
Okay.
I let him pick, and he always picks, he'll pick like Swiss chard because it's this beautiful like pink color on the on the stem. And I'm like, sure, if that's what you want to try. And he feels like, I picked that out, it's a pretty color, and then he'll try it.
I would say
So
he'll at
it's
least give
this
it a
like,
try. Yeah, like
yes,
he'll at
and that's
least, yeah.
all. Yes, I'm like, just take one bite. That's all that I want. Because then at least at one point it will click, and it'll be like, this isn't bad. I can do
Mm-hmm.
this. And
Mm-hmm.
so as long as we are exposing them, they don't have to eat a whole bowl of something. I just want to keep saying, just try that. Try one bite. Tell me what you think of that. What do you think of the flavor? What do you think it looks like?
Okay.
And when they're more interactive, they're more likely to try it. But I've been more successful with getting them out in nature or out at the farmer's market, out at the store, and say, you pick.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have a garden, pick something out from our garden and try it and tell me what you think. Do you think they're ready? Does it taste good enough to pull and to eat tonight? Or you know what I mean?
Okay,
So
yeah.
just try different things. But if you don't have a garden, the grocery store. Just go to the grocery store and say, which one of these do you think would taste good? What do you think that purple tastes like? What do you think and
Uh-huh.
just try to get them to interact with you a little bit and let them choose what to cook for dinner.
Okay. Yeah, that's a cool
So,
idea. That's a cool idea. Yeah, we'll definitely try that.
yeah.
And you something we're wanting to try and we haven't gotten to it yet, but is you're a big proponent of building small planter boxes
Yeah.
and or garden boxes, whatever you want to call them, and growing like a few of your own things. I was thinking, like, do you think that's something? Can you do it in a small enough box even to do it like on your balcony? Or does it need to be a pretty big box? Do you know?
I mean, I'm up for just whatever you have the space to
Just to
grow,
try it.
grow.
Okay.
But when it comes to apartment buildings and balconies, it will just need to be able to drain. So that could be kind of
Okay.
tricky.
Okay.
So if you're in an apartment and the water can't drain out without like getting to your neighbor's balcony or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, then see if there's like a community space. A lot of times, like there's areas that have community gardens, or maybe you could get together with your apartment complex and say, hey, can we build a little small garden and
Mm.
everyone in the apartment can kind of contribute and eat. And if none of that works, then always just contact a local farmer or a local farmer's market and go that route. But
Uh-huh.
even if it's just herbs, like you can grow herbs and like grasses and stuff like that, microgreens, those can all
Uh-huh.
be grown inside. And so even if it's just something simple like that, because I like one of the things I try to get people to just like simple changes. Like instead of like, let's say,
Hmm.
because I used to always eat boxed rice.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and so one of the things as people are trying to like switch into eating healthier, I just say, okay, instead of doing a boxed rice that has the packaged of seasonings,
Mm.
go and get some brown rice or quinoa bulk and then take some of your fresh herbs
Mm.
and mix a bunch of fresh herbs in there. That will help eliminate a lot of sodium and a lot of additives and
Hmm.
flavorings and stuff that you don't need that aren't healthy for you. So
Hmm.
just simply growing herbs in your kitchen would be a huge health benefit just to eliminate a lot of the processed flavorings.
Mm.
So it just depends. Work with what you have and do with what you can. And if building a garden is not possible, then I just choose organic, healthier options at the grocery store. Farmers
Hmm.
markets are always going to be cheaper, and then
Okay.
grow what you can
Hmm.
inside.
You touched on cheaper, and I was also thinking that one of the herbs that I've really, actually two herbs that I very much want to grow on my own inside are cilantro and parsley, because I buy them every week for
Mm-hmm.
recipes and I don't use them all. And it feels like such a waste, number one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just such a waste. It's like you hate to see these like beautiful green vegetables go to waste. And then also it's a waste of money.
Yeah.
Um, and then you just mentioned the farmers market as well, because I feel like for the most part, I find at least kind of two barriers to eating more organic, healthy foods. And one of them is the cost, and the
Mm-hmm.
other is the time. And so, the cost you just kind of touched on. So farmers markets are a way to find them cheaper. Something else that you said in our podcast episode that I really liked was that you talked about planning for the week and using the same, 3 to 4 vegetables in all of your meals,
Mm-hmm.
or at least 3 of your meals throughout the week. Um, so I'm thinking maybe you could go into that just a little bit more quickly, and then any other ideas you have for cost, like that, getting over that barrier of cost.
Yeah. Okay. So, like you said, farmers market's going to be the cheapest. And then if you're trying to switch to organic, look up the Dirty Dozen list and the Clean 15 list. And if you, let's say you want to start switching to organic, but you can't afford to do all organic, then just try to focus on those items that are on the dirty 15. And those are going to be items that are heavily sprayed with chemicals. Items that when they're tested, they have a lot of chemical residue on them. And so if you just choose organic out of that list of 15, that's going to be a huge
Mm.
benefit to you.
Mm.
And then the rest you don't have to use organic with. So that will save some money, not feeling like you have to have
Mm.
everything organic. At least just choose from that list.
Mhm.
And then what we do is we just kind of like price check. When things go on sale, then cook a lot with that. So if your eggplant is on sale, then say, okay, I'm going to do a stir fry with eggplant, and then I will do, you know, what else do we do? Do a curry with eggplant and just do
Okay.
different eggplant meals because that's what's on sale that day, or that's what the farmer's market has, or whatever.
Okay.
And so we just kind of choose things that are on sale and buy a bunch of those and just repeat using those things during the week.
Okay.
Or if you have a recipe that you want to follow, but one of the items is really expensive, then you can choose something that's might be on sale during that time, because when things are in season they'll be cheaper because farmers are growing a lot of them. So
Uh-huh.
just eating seasonally and eating what is being grown in your area at that time will be your cheapest option. And so instead of buying just tons of things, I'll grab like 5 or 6 vegetables, like I had said in the podcast, and then I will
Mhm.
just use those for salads and stir fries and whatever else we're making, soups and curries and all these things, so that I'm not buying a ton of ingredients. I'm just buying a handful of ingredients and using them in multiple different meals.
Mm.
And that seems to work well with us.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the it's funny. This morning I was thinking about seasonality, and this is really random, just that as you were talking about it now. I was thinking about how seasonality has kind of disappeared a little bit in my
Mm-hmm.
life. Well, actually, so we were in Japan together, which
Yeah.
is kind of great, right? So in Japan, I always felt like there was so much life was so tied to the season. I don't know if you felt that, but
Mm-hmm.
it seems like, certain foods, they were available right now. They won't be available again until this time next year. The nature, the flowers would change. Everything was just very tied to what was going on in that season. And this morning I was thinking about how I've just kind of lost that in my life. Like I'm not tied to the seasons anymore. It's the food we eat all year is like the food we eat all year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and I thought, that's not good. That
Yeah.
I've lost
It
connection to that.
Yeah, it's because we expect everything right now. We want
Mm-hmm.
everything at our fingertips. We don't want to wait. We want to have everything available at the store. So the stores are completely packed full of everything. And we're getting food from everywhere. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not just like your grocery store unless you're shopping at a local, like we
Mm-hmm.
have a local co-op here that
Okay.
has our own farmers
Okay. That's cool.
produce. Yeah. But at a normal grocery store, you're getting things from China, from all the other states, like
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
everywhere. And so you're not eating what's being grown in your area.
Mm.
And so that's how we get disconnected because we just assume, oh, I have a pineapple here, I have this here.
Yeah.
Well, pineapples don't grow in Oklahoma, I don't think.
Right.
Maybe they do, but anyway, so we're getting food that can be months old that has
Mhm.
been put in a truck,
Mhm.
that's been shipped here, that's been sitting in the back, and then it comes to us, and we just think it's fresh and it, whatever. But really, it's been through a long process, and the nutritional value has disappeared because it's been sitting and being transported for so long. And so, it really is best for your body to eat what is being grown right now.
Mm.
And that's what's and that's, your body is supposed to go with the seasons.
Mhm.
They were, things even like Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are high in vitamin C. They are grown in the winter time. Like we're meant to eat
Oh,
them at certain times of the year
yeah.
for our health. Like that's how God created it to be. They're meant to be grown in certain areas for a certain demographic of people, and they're meant to be grown at certain periods of time throughout the year.
Mm.
So it is best for your body to get back to that seasonal trend of eating. And that's just simply getting back out in nature, growing your
Yeah.
own garden, getting to know your farmers in the area, finding
Mhm.
who's locally growing things and get connected with that. That's going to be your healthiest way and your cheapest way.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Let's wrap up talking about the other like big barrier that I see, which is time.
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of tricks and ideas you have for making healthy eating more bearable in a
Yeah.
busy life, you know?
Um, Honestly, I have found meal prepping to be very helpful. And at first, I did not want to meal prep. I had the mindset that probably most people have is I don't have hours to spend cooking meals for the week.
Mhm.
And so I thought that just cooking them as we needed them would be easier. But even if it's just a few things, like I will cook quinoa for the whole week. I
Okay.
will make vegetable broth for the whole week,
Okay.
salad dressings or sauces, things like that for the whole week.
Okay.
And that way you're not like feeling like you're cooking all these meals, but
Hmm.
you have these little things that you can just throw together and add on to.
Okay.
If you have time, like I like to, it is really nice, like having all your vegetables cut
I
up
was
and
just
ready.
thinking about chopping vegetables. That's like
Yeah,
forever
it does.
on the
It
night
does.
and on the first day, but at least you're doing it all at one time on one day,
Yes.
right?
Because sometimes, like my husband and I will, like if we don't have things prepped and ready, we'll prep for dinner for like 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And like sometimes that's just not,
Yeah.
that's not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most people don't have that time. They want real things. And that's where people fall into the trap of going out to eat, going through the drive through. Okay, we'll just order a pizza. I don't have time.
Mm.
But if you, and I'm not the best at this, but if you do set out a meal on Monday, we're going to do this, Tuesday, we're going to do this, and kind of just prepare what you can. If you
Mm-hmm.
can make rice ahead of time or quinoa ahead of time, cut up some vegetables for a stir fry ahead of time, make the broth for a soup or a curry ahead of time. Those just little things um, can save you a lot of time during the week.
Mm. Yeah, that makes sense. It does. Um, is there anything else that you want to add? Um, I mean, we covered so much
Yeah.
in our episode. But what else you have that would be nice to add?
Um, I always like tell people just to go easy on themselves, to take it step by step, because some people feel the reason diets fail. Well, there's two reasons diets fail. One is everybody's body's different. And so, what foods and what diets work for your body will not work for someone else's body.
Mm.
And so, people fall into these trends because, like, oh, my friend just lost 20 pounds. I'm going to do that too. And then they gain 5 pounds on the diet. And so, it's really frustrating. And so, and then another way diet fail is it's so much information. Okay, I have to choose organic, I can't do this. Okay, now this is bad. Oh well, this was once good, but now they're saying this is bad. And it's just constantly changing, and so people get overwhelmed and they're like, you know what, whatever, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna go to my fast food restaurant that I love and makes me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I always want to tell people just take it slow. Like just start with one, and it could be something simple. Like let's say you do fast food 4 days a week. Just say, okay, we're going to go to fast food just 2 days from now on. 2 days a week, we get the pick, and that's where we go to fast food. And then after that, move it down to 1 day a week. We're going to do fast food. So just do that so figure out where you think you can make health improvements. Like maybe it's you drink soda every day, or maybe it's whatever you think is causing you to have health issues or something that you want to improve in your health. Just take that issue and just try to slowly reduce it. Because I think when people try to wipe everything out all at once, it becomes overwhelming. It's not fun anymore.
Right.
People feel deprived.
Yeah, for sure.
And if they don't see immediate results, then they feel like a failure. And
Yeah.
so, and that's what I help do as a health coach is we just pick weekly goals, and it may take a couple weeks to complete that goal, but we just do it step by step. And as long as you're making some improvements, it could be something even like, okay, I eat no vegetables, I'm going to add one vegetable in a week. It could be something super simple.
Mm-hmm.
But any sort of like increments of change for the
Mm-hmm.
better will do wonders for your body.
Mm-hmm.
And so just continue on that path and just see what works well for your body. Some vegetables don't work well with some people, so you just kind of have to play around with things, see what you like, see what your family likes, and just make the adjustments as best as you can and go easy on yourself, because adding stress to your body isn't going to help. I mean, you can eat all the vegetables in the world, but if you're unhappy and stressed and feel bad about yourself, you're not going to receive the benefits.
It's a good point.
So
Yeah, that's a good point. I think my new fun thing to try with the kids is letting them pick a vegetable at the store or at the farmer's market. That's going to be my new little thing to try, I
yeah,
think.
you'll
To
have
see
to let
how
me
that
know what he
goes.
chooses.
I know, right?
Tell him that Lucas picks Swiss chard.
that may be like the point that ends it all. Oh, I'll put your contact information in the. I assume there's going to be a description to this that I can put the contact information in. But is there what's the best way that you want people to get a hold of you if they have questions?
People can email me, and people are welcome to add comments to this post, right? Because it will
Okay,
say on your page.
that's true. Yeah.
And I can respond to comments on this post.
Thread. Okay.
But yeah, email me is great. And I mean, I'm in Oklahoma, but if there's someone in another state that's wanting health coaching, we can always do health coaching over Zoom calls or emails or things like that. So if anyone in any area needs help getting healthy or needs help with their children getting healthy, I am available to help, and I will give as much advice as I can and resources. So
Perfect.
yeah, just contact me.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to try to see if I can figure out how do we end this. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.